The Soffit tool in Chief Architect can be found underneath the Cabinets parent and is primarily an interior tool that is typically placed between a wall cabinet and a ceiling, although there can be other uses for it that we'll explore at the end of this video or in secondary videos. So let's go ahead and take a look at how the Soffit tool works in Chief Architect. With my floor plan view on the left hand side, I'm going to drop down the cabinet tool where you'll find a soffit. Once I select that soffit, you'll see a ghost outline of where it's going to place. Much like the cabinets, when I come into the corner, it will automatically place a corner soffit, and you can see that update in the 3D view. When I place the soffit off to the side, you can see that it places the soffit off to the side of the corner, and then you can simply grab that soffit, I'll zoom out just a little bit, and pull that across to the room. Now if I come over, I had some electrical cans here, and if I press F12 on the keyboard, I will force the rebuild, or if you do another 3D view, it will force a rebuild and then bring your electrical at the forefront at the bottom of the soffit. And likewise, if you delete that soffit, you can either regenerate your 3D view or press F12 on the keyboard to force a regeneration of that scene. On the other side, if I place my soffit, again I'm going to do that in plan view for convenience. You can place them in 3D view. Place the soffit, and I'm going to just snap that to the refrigerator. Place one more soffit over the refrigerator, and then just simply pull it out to the desired dimension. Notice my temporary dimension is being displayed. You can click on that and enter your dimension. You can also double click on the soffit and open up the information about the soffit. There's a few things that we want to talk about in the soffits. One, obviously, is you can adjust the sizing. Auto adjust height. I'm going to show you that in a little bit more detail. Use finish floor. That's related to auto adjust height, but it's in relationship to the finish floor that you have. Slope soffit. If you want to match the ceiling, you can actually place that under the roof. If you select that, place under the ceiling and ignore room moldings. Let me go ahead and select that ignore room moldings, and when I do that, watch what happens to my crown molding when that is selected. It actually hides behind it. If you scroll over a little bit, you'll see that my molding is coming out. So if I press the undo button, that will bring that molding back. Those are some of the options you can set with that soffit. I'm going to scroll over to the room that I have adjacent to this and open up the elevation view. And let's just pull that over into this tile area over here. The soffit on the left has the property auto adjust, and the soffit on the right has no auto adjust, and that's in the dialog setting that we were just looking at. If I open that up, this check mark for auto adjust height has been removed. Where that comes into play is, let's say that I open up this room and I increase the ceiling height by 12 inches, and let's also raise the floor up by 12 inches. Select OK. Watch what happens when I select OK in the two different soffit settings. Again, this one has the auto adjust off, this one has it on, as well as this cabinet has it off and the other one is on. Once I select OK, you'll notice that the auto adjust soffit moved with the room, as did the cabinet, while those without the auto adjust did not. I'll press undo and I'll show you another example of this. Let's go back into a perspective full overview, and I'll maximize my screen here. Rotate around. Sometimes you may use a soffit or cabinets for outdoor living, and if I move this cabinet, it's easy to demonstrate. The cabinet and the soffit have the same properties. If I move this cabinet off of the deck, watch what will happen to it. It will actually follow that terrain, and that is because auto adjust is on and it's going to follow the terrain. The soffit has the same behavior. If I pull it off, again, auto adjust, it's going to jump down, is on. Let's go ahead and move it back over. And if we open up that soffit, turn that auto adjust off, select OK. And now watch when I move it out. It will stay constant. So be aware that that setting can affect your soffits. If you change a room height, if you're placing a soffit without a room, soffits want to understand room definition and adjust with that when this setting is selected on or off. As I return back in the floor plan, let's look at another feature of the soffits. I'm going to use the soffit tool, click it once, and I'm going to hold the shift key down instead of clicking. Once that shift key is held down, I'm just going to draw a marquee around all of the soffits inside the kitchen. Let go. You'll notice in my lower left hand section, my status bar says 4 objects are selected. I'll press the delete key and that will remove all of the soffits in that room. Using the soffit tool, I'm going to place a soffit against the wall and I'm going to resize it out, let's say approximately 40 inches or so, and I'm going to stretch it from side to side. And again, if I press the F12 in my 3D view, you'll see my lights actually protrude through those soffits. When you select a soffit, it actually has an indicator of which way it is pointing. Let's highlight this soffit so you can see it. It's this slight arrow that's facing out. You always want that away from the wall. If I were to take this soffit and create a copy of it and pull it over to the wall like this, which is an invisible wall just for the purpose of the demonstration, soffits are smart and bump together and heal. You may find, like countertops, when you merge a cabinet together, it will merge the countertop. If you find that you're having problems with merging of your soffits, check the position of your arrow. When you have a soffit against a wall, you'll want to make sure that that soffit has the arrow facing out from it, so you don't use the copy command. So where I have created this intersection here, it may actually cause a problem where it joins here, and you'll see that in 3D occasionally. Just rotate that soffit around so that it is the correct way. So if I wanted to copy this soffit to the other room, I would actually use the copy tool in the edit menu, select copy, reflect that around the center of the room, and place that soffit on the other side. And I notice that obviously I have my light positions, and I would have to move that in my electrical plan, which if I change my layer set to the electrical set, I can actually see where those lights are. And what I might do is just adjust that soffit so that it includes those lights inside of it, and then you'll see the lights come through. Soffits as well can be used in the center of the room. So let's just place a couple of soffits in the center of the room. And notice that there is no cabinet that it's going to snap to. So let's just open up another cabinet and see what the dimensions are. Notice that my height is 11 1/8. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And my floor to bottom is 96. I'm going to select the soffit that we just placed and set those same dimensions. I'll paste my value in here and set that to be 96. And also, if I select this soffit, which I can do in 3D, let's remove the setting for ignoring room moldings. Select OK. And now I can actually grab this molding and pull it across, and now it ignores my room molding. You may also again have to press the F12 or regenerate your 3D view to see what that distance is. Let's maybe pull this soffit up a little bit, make it more shallow, approximately where our crown molding is intersecting. And with that selected, I'm just going to use the multiple copy tool. And with that selected, I'm going to evenly distribute 5 copies of that across our room and create a unique style of shape. Again, I may have to move that light, and I'll actually probably just delete that light. And with my electrical tool, select my other lights, and I will just slide those into the middle of the other soffit. So there's a basic method of the way that soffits can work. In the following video on soffits, we'll look at how they can follow the shape of the roof line as well as ceiling.